Listen, this ain't just talk radio. This that real life, everyday front porch, kitchen table, ride home from work kind of talk. Current events, hot topics.
Looking for insight, laughter, strategy, and a little joy for the journey.
You're in the right place.
You're in the right place.
Welcome to the table, pull your chair up close. We talk business, life hacks, highs and lows. Everyday people, every kind of story. Finding good, yeah, giving like the glory. That's right.
When the world gets loud.
When the world gets loud, we talk it out. When life gets heavy, we work it out.
From the headlines to your real life,
It's that
TLS Talks. TLS Talks.
this is TLS Talk. TLS Talk. Hey, 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 TLS Talk.
TLS Talks.
TLS Talk. This is TLS Talk, where the real ones gather. We break it down, build it up, make it make sense, make it matter. TLS Talk.
TLS Talk.
Hey, hey.
TLS Talk.
That's TLS Talk.
TLS Talk.
Hey, hey.
TLS Talk.
Talk,
Life talk.
real talk, business culture, everyday walk. Laugh a little,
Learn a lot.
learn a lot,
Learn a lot.
find a good
Right way.
Yeah, you are.
Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here.
Yeah.
Right now.
If you came for truth,
You belong here.
hey. If you came for truth,
You belong here.
if you came for joy,
Belong here.
if you have a dream, if you want big things, if you want big things, come on, have a felon sing. You belong here. If you love, everybody go. Take it on, everybody sing. Come on. Y'all get talk. Let's go. Let's go. Talk it out. Build it up.
This is TLS Talks.
Hey fam, want to know how to subscribe to the channel? Well, let's get started. First, open your web browser or the YouTube app on your phone or computer. If on a computer, type www.youtube.com into the browser bar. Step 2, find the channel. In the search bar at the top, type 2rel Strayhorn, or simply visit my channel directly at @2rel Strayhorn Step 3. While watching a video on the channel, click the like button. It tells YouTube this content matters, and it helps others find it too. Step 4, hit subscribe and don't forget to click the bell to turn on notifications. Now you'll be notified every time we go live or post something new. And presto, that's it. That's all. Thanks for being part of the community. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the channel. Continue to do good work. Hey fam!
Every conversation starts with a spark, igniting big ideas that can transform lives. In TLS Talks, we delve deeper into the issues that truly matter, exploring human potential for change and connection. Are you ready to discover what's possible together? Remember, this isn't just a show, it's a movement, a vibrant space where thinkers, doers, and dreamers unite. Each episode is carefully curated to promote learning, growth, and development, pushing boundaries and dreaming bigger. So join us as we create a community of changemakers. TLS Talks explores new ideas and challenges the status quo. Each conversation inspires thought and transformation. Are you ready to live, learn, and lead? Let's dream, let's live, and do good work. Look to be inspired as you engage the conversation. Click the like button, drop comments in the chat, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, your voice matters, you are enough, and you belong here just the way you are. TLS Talks is your platform to talk and transform. Now let's get back to the show already in progress. What's going on? Happy. Welcome to the show. And so delighted to know that you are tuning in from all across all of our various platforms. Welcome to TLS Talks. I'm your host, Terrell Strayhorn, and looking forward to what promises to be a dynamic show. Got plenty of things that we're going to cover and try to address in this show. And before we go too far, I certainly want to say thank you for tuning in, like and subscribe to the channels. And I just talked through how to do that. But I thought today I might actually share my screen because I'm learning from some of the followers that people don't know exactly what to do to follow, like and subscribe. So I figure, why not? Listen, if I were in a classroom as an instructor, I would do it. So here it is. I'm going to share my screen. I think this is going to work and walk us through. Let me make sure it doesn't go a little cuckoo and crazy. All right. So here's the screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to youtube.com. And then that's going to bring you here. And I would go here and I would type in my name, Terrell Strayhorn. You could type in do good work, whatever you like. There it is. And it pops up. And you see this black button right here says subscribe. I would click this button to subscribe. And if it says you have to sign in, which you can see up here, I'm not signed in yet. Let me remove that logo for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So right up here, it says sign in. I'm not signed in, but you would sign into your YouTube. You could use your Google, your iCloud, whatever you'd like, sign in, but then come here and you click subscribe. And then once you do that, you would be subscribed to the channel. And then you can also click notifications, which means anytime I go live, you would receive a notification, a push notification to all of your devices or the ones you set up so that you would know when the show is on and when I'm going live. You can see right here that this is the show that we're in right now, Saturday, February 7th, podcast live. Even when these are pre-recorded, it still premieres or airs that day. So anyway, like and subscribe, just click on the notifications, and then be sure to share that information with others who you know may want to subscribe to the channel but don't know how. All right, appreciate that. And again, happy Saturday to you. Welcome to the show. Really looking forward to all that we're going to cover today. All right, so it's been a busy week. There's a lot happening in the world, as we all know, which is all the more reason for us to gather and to create a space and time to talk about some of these issues. And I want to get into some of them, obviously, in the show today. But if you can help me by liking, sharing, and sending this out to others, I would greatly appreciate it. Like and subscribe, send it out to others who want to tune in. And I'm going to do the same. We've, been talking about a number of issues on the show over the course of time. And I want to get back into some of that today. Before we get into too much of that, I want to say to those of you who have already subscribed to the channel, be sure to check out some of the shorts, reels. I created some shorts that I put up there. And we may be able to listen to one of them today in the show, but everyone doesn't have an hour, hour 15, hour 30 to listen to an entire podcast. So I've also been creating some content that is, shorter, minute and a half at most, really talking about some principles of psychology applied to real life and practice. So if you have time, go to the YouTube channel
click on Shorts. We'll see this again. Like I said, I'm going to demonstrate it later. And you can watch those videos about like how to, these are things we've talked about in previous shows, how to leave it on the mat, things that frustrate you, complicate your day, that you don't carry those things with us. That there are some things that we're carrying with us that are expired. They're old. They're not for this season. Those are short reels. You don't have to watch the full episode in the past in order to get those lessons. You can go to YouTube. I put them up there as some short reels, and you can like them. Please like, share, like and share. That helps YouTube know, other people on YouTube know this is, content worth listening to and worth watching. Again, I'm going to play one of them later, show you how to activate them or how to access them, and really, truly appreciate you joining us for today's show. All right. So be sure to like and subscribe. We're going to listen to a quick ad, maybe a song, come back and get right into our content for today. Again, thanks for tuning in and glad you are here.
Every conversation starts with a spark, igniting big ideas that can transform lives. In TLS Talks, we delve deeper into the issues that truly matter, exploring human potential for change and connection. Are you ready to discover what's possible together? Remember, this isn't just a show, it's a movement, a vibrant space where thinkers, doers, and dreamers unite. Each episode is carefully curated to promote learning, growth, and development, pushing boundaries and dreaming bigger. So join us as we create a community of changemakers. TLS Talks explores new ideas and challenges the status quo. Each conversation inspires thought and transformation. Are you ready to live, learn, and lead? Let's dream, let's live, and do good work. Look to be inspired as you engage the conversation. Click the like button, drop comments in the chat, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, your voice matters, you are enough, and you belong here just the way you are. TLS Talks is your platform to talk and transform. Now let's get back to the show already in progress.
He said, behold, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And I want you to believe this song. It said, you removed every one of my doubts. You
Never left me alone.
Every time you brought me out, Lord, you
Never left me alone.
When I was down to my very last, you
Never left me alone.
You gave me more than I could ever ask.
Never left me alone.
No, 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 no.
No, 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 never.
I just like this song.
No, 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 never.
No, 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 no.
No, 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 never.
Oh,
No, 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 never.
you never left me.
You never left me alone.
When my heart was overwhelmed, Lord, you never
Left me alone.
When I felt like I had failed, Lord, you
Never left me alone.
When you didn't know who I could tell, I ran to you.
Left me alone.
And like always, you made it well, Lord, you
Never left me alone.
help me say never. No, no, no. No, no.
No, 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 never.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
No, 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 never.
You never left me.
You never left me alone.
I've seen some things. Tell them I've seen the lightning.
I've seen the lightning flashing.
And I heard
the thunder roll.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 never.
No, no, no.
No, 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 never.
Lord have mercy.
No, 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 never.
No, 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 no.
No, never.
You never left me.
Never left me alone.
You know friends will come and go, but Lord, you
Never left me alone.
you're the place that I can go, cause you never
Never left me alone.
you're the peace in sleep sleepless nights, Lord, you never
left me alone.
And because of you, I know I'm gonna be all right. Cause you
Never left me alone.
said no, 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 no.
No, 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 never.
Help me say no, no.
No, never.
No, 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 no.
Never.
Oh, no.
No, 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 never.
You never left me.
Never left me alone.
I felt sin's breaker.
I felt sin's breaker. Crashing.
Trying to conquer my soul.
Trying to conquer my soul.
You never left me, no.
No, 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 never.
No, 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 no.
Never.
No, 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 no.
Never.
No, 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 no.
Never.
Even when I'm in trouble,
No, 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 never.
you never left me.
No, 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 never.
When I felt by myself,
No, no, never.
you never left me.
No, no, never.
No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no, no, never.
You never left me.
No, no, never.
I'm happy about it.
No, 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 never.
You never left me.
No, 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 never.
Time get dark.
No, 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 never.
Time get thin.
No, 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 never.
Friends walk
No,
out.
no, no, never.
But you step in.
No, no, never.
You never left me.
No, no, never.
You never left me.
No, never.
You never left me. Hey,
Never.
you never left me.
No, no, never.
Oh, 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 oh. Never. No, no.
No, 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 never.
No, no, no.
No, no, never.
You never left me.
No, no, never.
You never left me. I might have been a freak.
No, no, never.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
No, 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 never.
you never left me.
No, no, never.
You never left me.
No, no, never.
Oh, oh, never. No, no, no.
No, no, never.
No, no, no.
No, never.
I seen the lightning flash. I heard the thunder roll. I felt sin bring with passion. Trying to conquer my soul. But I heard the voice of Jesus telling me to still follow. You never left me. You never left me. You never left me. You never left me. Never left. Ay, ay, ay. You never left me. You never left me. Just think about it.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to TLS Talks. That was a great way to kick off the morning with a wonderful song. I love Marvin Winans and his music because he has a way of really taking, a song, remixing it, and it could be an old school song before you know it's got a new school feel to it. And so certainly want to welcome you if you're here and the live or watch later, all of that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Feel free to drop some comments in the chat. We'll share them on the screen as we move through the show today. So I want to pull up some slides that I have that are going to sort of walk us through what we're going to cover in today's show. Sorry, my computer just stalled. And we will thank you for those of you who have liked and shared on your various platforms. Help us let folks know that the show is on and people can tune in. All right, so as we think about this, today we've been talking a lot about some psychological concepts applied to practice. And I know I mentioned earlier that we would share some of the shorts that I posted online as a refresh of things that we have talked about in previous shows and episodes. And I want to do that. And then I also want to get into some stuff today. Today, we want to talk about love. Today, we want to talk about forgiveness. We want to talk about the psychology, the sociology behind the whole concept of affiliation, love, and connection. Why? Because this is the week that leads into Valentine's Day. And so sort of in honor of Valentine's Day, I thought we might tackle that issue. Hopefully that's something that you're really interested in hearing about. We've got some good thoughts to share there. But before we do that, let me show you one of the clips and how to get to them. So I'm going to share my screen again. All right, so if you go to YouTube and type in my name in the search bar, once you hit enter, it will pull me up. You'll see my face. Click on, you've already subscribed, right? And so when you click on either the channel or if you just scroll down some, right here, you'll see this word shorts. That's the way to get to the shorts. And shorts are just, as you see here, short clips that have to do with, I've never even seen this one. I didn't even know this was up here. So we should watch that one too. But yeah, so we got all these little shorts that are usually things that I've posted. Again, not one that I'm aware of. That's up here. Here's another one, never seen. So let's see what some of these are. Hopefully the audio will come through. When you encourage collaboration or get students in group and celebrate diverse perspectives, you're doing the work of belonging. You're also cultivating a space in your classroom where students can experience harmony. When you encourage collaboration or get students in group and celebrate diverse perspectives, you're doing the work of belonging. You're also cultivating a space in your classroom where students can experience harmony. So that's pretty cool.
I have empathy.
So that was encourage collaboration or get students in group. Let's go back. Let's see here. I saw another one that I've never seen before. This one. Safety and security is not just physical and emotional, although that is an important dimension or domain for it, but it's also our students come to our classrooms, our schools, whether they're learning in person or learning online, and they need emotional support and security. They need financial support and security, spiritual and other kinds of basic needs. Beyond these sort of basic needs that are represented by the first two bands, we have psychological needs as humans. That is, we're wired to be in community and connected with others. Safety and security is not just physical and emotional, although that is an important dimension or domain. And what you can do here is you can go over to this little thumb click that's liking it. And obviously this is put on by Harmony Academy, which is a unit within National University where I'm affiliated and have done work as a consultant. And you could subscribe, click subscribe here, and now you're subscribed to Harmony's channel as well.
Here's
So
the other thing that's a
these are just
major pickup as we sort of think about how do we
these are just shorts. I'm gonna
Safety
go
and security is
over
not
this
just
last
physical
one
and emotional.
because
here's the other thing that's a major pickup as we sort of think about how do we ritualize the release and get ready for the clearing of 2026 is sometimes we have to accept that it was only for a season anyway. So the person was in your life for 2024 and maybe you drugged them over in 2025, but 2026 has no intention. They will be out of season, out of date, expired, right? When my granddaughter was here, she found some cereal. I don't know where she found it in my pantry, but she was like, I want this cereal. I was like, cereal in my pantry? I don't have any cereal in my pantry. She pulled out this box and I was like, do not eat that. I don't know when that was purchased. I looked at the date and I was like, my gosh. I mean, I don't even know if I ever opened the box, but it has an expiration date on it. And, you know, that date was so historical that had she eaten that cereal, it would have been probably lethal. That's a pickup, right? That sometimes we carry things with us that were long expired and they can be deadly. They can be lethal. They can be, they can upset your stomach. They can upset your day. They can upset your mood. They can compromise your plans and compromise your grit, your focus. So you really got to do this sort of work now to think through, okay, so what is the thing I need to name without shaming it? 2, how do I locate that in my body? How do I redirect that energy? And then how do I ritualize the release of it? How do I write down what 2025 took from me and what it gave me? Here's the other thing that said.
all right. Love it. Okay, so that's how you would find the shorts is you can go to YouTube and click on the, go to the channel, go to the shorts section, and then click through those shorts and you can watch them. That one in particular was a clip from one of the previous episodes of TLS Talks where we were talking about, this was in 2025 as we were getting ready for 2026. How do we really get ready for abundant living and abundant life and joy in 2026? Given all that may have transpired in 2025. And one of the things was we've got to realize that some things that happen to us, some things that we bring with us, some things are for a season. And how do you create a clearing? You ever gone to work or been at home trying to put something on the counter and there's just no space for it because you got everything else on the counter. When we create a clearing, we are literally putting some things out of the way, pushing some things out of the way so we can make room for the things that we want and that we need. To do that, to clean out, we're in winter, but we're headed towards spring. I mean, someone told me the other day that the groundhog, I can't remember, saw his shadow, her shadow, their shadow, whatever. And because of that, we're expecting 6 more weeks of winter. I don't know where we are in the seasonal calendar, but I do know that spring is on the way. We will roll into spring at some point. And so one of the things that I associate with spring is spring cleaning. That's a time where you start clearing out your cabinets and cleaning out your closets and refreshing and restocking. And so how do you make room for the stuff that you want to get in the spring without, first of all, clearing out the things that were before? How do you make room for your spring clothes when your closet's full of your winter clothes? You've got to go in there and you've got to start to turn over that closet. That's a metaphor for what we have to do in our life, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, sometimes financially, in order to create a space for where we're trying to go. And that is in that short there from a previous video, I'm talking about the fact that a lot of times we will walk into spring with stuff that is for the winter. And you can imagine when those temperatures break and it's 60 and 70 degrees outside and sunny, and you're walking around with your heavy coat, you're going to get too hot. It's going to be too burdensome. It's going to be too heavy. It's going to make you sweat. It's going to make you uncomfortable. Bringing things into a new season from a previous season, a season for which it was not designed, will make you uncomfortable. And that's not just clothing. That refers to relationships and friendships and financial matters and even mindsets. That sometimes the mindset that carried you through the winter is not the mindset that you're going to use in the spring. So we've got to constantly be monitoring and thinking about, okay, So as I get ready for what I'm about to do, how am I thinking about this? Who's in my corner? Who's on my bench? Who's in my squad that's cheering me on or supporting me? And is everyone who's around me, able to embrace me in this season? So, I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine a few days ago about kind of like my season, where I am in the world and what I'm doing. And that particular person, I felt, kept saying, well, but what about this? And what would you do if this person from your past popped up today? And what would you do if this situation or problem from your past isn't over? Or what if you found out today that, they kept bringing the past into the present? And because I value the friendship, I talked to them about it. I mean, there were moments in the conversation I was like, I don't like the feeling of this. I'm talking about sunlight and joy and goodness and grace. And you're reminding me that even in the middle of goodness and grace, bad things happen, or stressful times come, or in an optimist kind of way of thinking about abundance and having more than enough. You're reminding me of times when I didn't have enough. And that just felt awkward. It felt uncomfortable, right? Carrying a winter coat into the spring, sitting down outside to eat, you're going to be uncomfortable. And that's going to happen until you either take off that winter coat and admit to yourself, it's a new day, it's a new season, spring is here, or you talk to that coat and say, look, coat, it's springtime. Okay, I don't need you to be wrapped up with fur and all this around me. Sometimes they make, I have one of these convertible coats where it's layered and it's got a fur hood, but you can unzip the fur out of the coat. Before you know, you got a nice thin trench coat. Sometimes you've got to talk to people, circumstances, places, things, spaces, mindsets, and say, listen, that is over. That is done. I'm not in that mindset no more. I'm not in that heart set anymore. I need to unzip all this extra layer, all this extra protection, all these other guards. Let that go, because I am not at risk here. I'm safe here. I'm full here. I can be authentically me here. And now I need to embrace the fact that I can put my little trench coat on, right? So sometimes we have to. So I called that video about stop carrying expired baggage. And I tell the story of being in, some stuff has an expiration date on it for a reason. Now, I'm vegan. And so I don't drink milk. I don't use milk or milk products in my coffee or my tea, because milk comes from a cow. And as a vegan, I don't consume animals. And I also don't eat, or for me to eat, an animal doesn't have to suffer or die. That's generally the basic principle behind veganism. And so, but yet I drink coffee, and I do like my coffee with a little bit of cream in it. So they have now non-dairy, non-milk based creams, and I'm drinking one of them now. And the cool thing about these things is you can buy them and they last forever. Literally, if I bought one today, the expiration date might not be until 2028. Why? Because it's not at risk of expiring. It's not at risk of expiring because there's no milk in it. Milk coming from an animal has an expiration date, but whatever the substance is in that non-dairy vegan-based cream, which sometimes can be oats or whatever, doesn't have that expiration date. So there are things that we can have that don't have an expiration date, or the expiration date is long. In other words, everything doesn't have to leave just because we're heading into spring. Everything in your life, every one in your life doesn't have to leave just because you're in 2026. Every project doesn't have to stop just because you flipped into a new month of February. But there are some things that do have an expiration date. And one of the points of discomfort and uncomfortability in a human's life is when they bring something into a new season that should have been left in the old. So we're constantly taking stock of who's around me. What am I doing? Who's feeding me mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and making sure that we find alignment there. All right, so that's that short. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We're going to get into the slide deck and thinking about it. But before I go too far, it is February, which in the US means it is Black History Month. Black History Month. And so happy Black History Month to you. And, you know, I think that part of what we should do for Black History Month, and we'll do it, you know, quite a bit, please like and share if you don't mind, is Black History Month is an exciting time of the year, February. And this is a particularly exciting Black History Month because this is the 100th anniversary of Black History Month, if you didn't know that. This is the 100th anniversary of when Carter G. Woodson, Virginian, who actually stands about my height, started Negro History Week. That's how it began. And then it eventually became from Negro History Week into Negro History Month and Black History Month, and the rest is history. But here we are. It was 1926 when Carter G. Woodson established Negro History Week. Here we are, 2026, 100 years later, celebrating Black History Month. And so happy Black History Month to all. It's a good time, a good year. I want to make sure we sing the Black National Anthem during this show. But, you know, Black History Month is a particularly important time where we acknowledge, celebrate, and commemorate the contributions of African Americans, Black Americans to society. And there's a particular song that I think might be relevant here. I'm going to play that, come back, get into our slide deck. We'll probably close out on a video as well as a song. Thank you for tuning in to TLS Talks. Here's that quick song.
What if Martin didn't stand up? What if Rosa didn't sit down? What if Malcolm didn't matter? Where would we be now? What if Marley didn't get up, stand up? What if Du Bois didn't come to advance us? And Mandela didn't come to teach us? Where would we be now? We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can change the world. We can change the world with our love, 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 love. 'Cause it is up to us. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can change the world. Our love can change the world. We can change the world with our love, 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 love. Our love can change the world. What if Maya didn't speak out? What if Langston Hughes didn't write it down? What if Josephine Baker didn't dance it out? No. Tell me, where would we be now? What if Sojourner never told the truth? Or Ida B. Wells never printed the news? Harriet never went underground? Where would we be now? We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can change the world. We can change the world with our love, 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 love. 'Cause it is up to us. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can change the world. Our love can change the world. We can change the world with our love, 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 love. Our love can change the world. Me too, I matter, you matter, we matter. Together we are love. Me too, I matter, you matter, we matter. Together we are love. It's gotta be all of us to stand up and speak out with all of our love. Love, 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 love. 'Cause it's up to us. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We could change the world. Our love will change the world. We will change the world. With our love, 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 love. Our love will change the world. Oprah, Kamala, Ava, Tarana, and Lena, Serena, Viola, Oprah, Patrice, and Alicia. You and me are the chosen. Right now, this is our moment. We are a people of motion. Our love's gonna change the world.
Wow. All right. All right. Happy, again, Black History Month, and appreciate that beautiful song from Indy Irene. All right. So we're going to get into this next segment, and I'm going to share my screen so we can talk through some slides. And go from there. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Appreciate you being here and tuning in. We certainly appreciate your support and all that goes into that. All right. So as we think about it, let me bring to the stage these slides. So I'm calling this the psychology and sort of spirit of love. TLS Talks Valentine's Day special, because I won't be going live on next Saturday for Valentine's Day, but certainly may have a pre-recorded episode I'll release, but it won't be the same. So I wanted to get ahead of it now and get into what is love, especially since a lot of my psychology students, ask questions about love. They love to talk about love. They love to talk about the psychology of love. And so I figured this might be a good topic for us today. All right, I'm going to remove the lower third so you can catch this. Valentine's Day is pretty interesting because it's a holiday. Not necessarily in the literal sense, because everybody's not off work all the time for Valentine's Day. I don't know if anybody's off for Valentine's Day. If you are, drop it into the chat. Let us know. But don't say where you work, because everybody's going to apply for a job at your place, because people have already said, I got to work on Valentine's Day. And they're trying to get the day off. Some people have taken off for Valentine's Day because they already know they're going to be doing something special. But let's get into this. So it's an important kind of day or holiday because it's used to commemorate and celebrate all forms of love, romantic and familial and platonic and self-love. Now, I would say probably in the US at least, a lot of Valentine's Day is about romantic kind of love. Boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, partners, spouses come together on that day to do something special to commemorate their relationship. But Valentine's Day is a day of love. It could also be a day of philos, philanthropic kind of love, brotherly love, philos love, platonic and self-love. But love is rooted in insights about psychology, sociology, biology, and spirituality. Let me unpack a little bit of that. Biology, in the sense that love does activate, stimulate certain responses in our body. There's a biological kind of response to moments of love, intimacy, closeness, and friendship. Secondly, is there's a sociology to love, and that is that love is about social connections and bonds and relationships. And so that's how we can distinguish between familial love and romantic love, or platonic love and self-love, because of that social dimension, the relationship that one shares with another. Love is rooted in our biology, right? We as human beings, man is not built, man, woman, person, human is not built to be alone. That's why we can feel it when we are alone and lonely. But it's not just biological, it is also psychological, that there are certain thoughts and patterns that are associated with our chemistry, our connections, our bonds, our love, our support toward one another, toward people. And though when we are in close proximity to those with whom we trust, we have meaningful relationships and meaningful connections, we have very relatively positive and upbeat, optimistic, warm, fuzzy kinds of thoughts and patterns. When we are away from those who we know, love, trust, then we have more pessimistic and narrow and self-defeating, dark kinds of thoughts and patterns, right? So this is how proximity and affiliation and connection and love shape our psychology, our thoughts, right? But also our thoughts shape our proximity, because when I trust a person, I'm willing to be close to them. When I trust a person, I'm willing to get close to them, which allows me to enter into the relationship, and for the relationship to mature from platonic into romantic, or from mere interest into more, right? It's the psychology that shapes those behaviors. So we, at all times we should be thinking about thoughts, psychology, biology, what sort of innate in sociology, the chemistry, the connections, the relationships that we share, as well as the spirituality, and that is like the soul force. And that is by Valentine's Day is also a time where we start to celebrate not just those romantic forms of love, but also spiritual kinds of love. And I was having a conversation with a friend this morning talking about this idea of, especially for those of us who come from that Judeo-Christian background, where it is, we're often thought about as spiritual beings, right? So how is my spirit connecting with other people's spirit in a way that is positive, supportive, upbeat, warm, and comfortable, right? All right, so at work, a simple thank you from a colleague or a supervisor can foster acceptance and belonging, those remnants, those feelings, those vibrations or sensations associated with love, reflecting how love's broad reach can impact us. Love is not just hearts and Valentine's Day cards and red and pink balloons, although that is some of it. That sometimes love is also just appreciation, celebration, gratitude for what we are, what we do. And so, you might have been at home and got a text from a friend that said, hey, thank you, or from a family member who said, thank you for something. You ever been sort of walking through the mall, at home, in your car, whatever the case might be, and you get a text from someone who just says, hey, just thinking about you and just want to say I love you. And you can remember that warm sensation that generated this sense of like calm and coolness and everything is well in your world. This is how universal love is as an experience, right? And it really has to do with the fact that love is also about social acceptance. Because as humans, we all need to be accepted. We yearn for acceptance. We do not yearn for rejection. We yearn for belonging. I talk a lot about this. I write a lot about this. We are biologically hardwired to seek acceptance, which is why, when we put on a hoodie and people say, oh, I don't like that hoodie, we think for a second, even though we may not do it totally. We may not abandon plans of wearing that hoodie, but for a moment we think, oh, I should change my hoodie. Why? Because as humans, we want to be accepted, not rejected. We say, I'm willing to I want to, right? So social rejection triggers this pain in our brain. This idea of like, hey, I'm not wanted. What I'm doing is not acceptable. What I'm doing is not appreciated. It sends a message to our brain, the same region of our brain that's activated by if we had a physical injury, if we fell, got in a car accident or whatever. So that's revealing how deeply we need connection and how deeply we feel connection. So if you've ever been in a relationship and you know, someone terminated the relationship, broke up with you, or you broke up with them, or you you know, lost a loved one, and you're like, oh, it hurts so deeply. And if you've ever had moments where you felt like, you know, this is real pain, it almost is like a headache, it's almost like a heartache, it's almost like a backache. That's true. It registers with your body in a way that feels like real pain. So part of what we got to appreciate is we're biologically wired in a way that allows us to feel acceptance in positive ways, pro-social ways, supportive ways that allow us to activate, live fully, live freely. But we also experience rejection as almost like physical pain is painful. There's a spiritual foundation to this as well, and that is that these spiritual teachings across multiple traditions, not just Christian, but Buddhist and Muslim, there's some points of connection here that emphasize unconditional love as a path to true acceptance. If you truly want to accept someone or truly want to be accepted, is we've got to get to a place where we have unconditional love. My love is not conditioned on something, right? I don't love you if, I don't love you when, but I love you, period. I don't love my kids if they do what I say. Certainly that makes it easier, but I love them regardless. And I'm going to love them through the punishment. I'm going to love them through the correction. I'm going to love them through the lessons. Unconditional love. I don't love my job if it's a Monday, or love my job if I've got no deadlines. Unconditional love. I got to love my job, love what I do, love my work, love my profession, my passion, my interests, my hobbies, right? And that unconditional love gives you a position, even a disposition, to love it even in and through the difficult times, the challenging moments. So it invites us to see ourselves and others through this eyes of compassion. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day who was asking me, who was, you know, having a conversation. The conversation was a little tense, and somewhere in there, they said, you know, but, you know, that's why you love me, or you still love me. And I said very clearly, obviously, yes. I mean, I love my family. I love my friends. I love my fraternity brothers. That does not mean that there won't be faith myself. I'm often thinking about this scripture in Corinthians that says it defines love. Love is patience. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It does not both. You know, and my understanding of that allows me to see that love in its fullest sense, whether it's romantic or brotherly or family love, allows you to have compassion, to see through a multitude of situations, right? Compassion means that I can have concern for the misfortunes and the suffering of others. So in this particular case, one of my friends was frustrated because her day was disrupted by some family matters that she had not anticipated having to deal with. And although my day was okay, my day was as I expected, compassion allowed me to be empathetic, to remember what it's like for your day to be disrupted with unexpected kinds of challenges, to remember what it's like to, you know, see her suffer and be stressed, and though I'm not feeling immediate stress in my world, to empathize, sympathize, and to have pity or concern for her about that, right? That's what we have to be able to do if we're really going to be able to experience love. If you can't empathize with a person, you're struggling. You're going to struggle to love them. If you can't see the world through their eyes, not your eyes, right? Maybe you're not interested in this. Maybe you don't want to go left. Maybe you don't want to go back to school or back to work, or maybe you don't want to buy that new item, but they want to do it. And love allows you to understand, to empathize, to see it their way. And that's an important chemistry piece of the equation, because ultimately, to be able to, let's say someone was just telling me some things that they want, right? I don't want those items. So why would I be motivated to go out and get them? Why would I be motivated to order them? Why would I be motivated to try to surprise them with these things because I don't want them? Well, love enters. Love allows me to have compassion, to say, okay, well, I don't want them, but they want them. And because I love them, I want them to have them. Now let me start thinking about what it would take to help them get those things. Because I know that once I do my part of helping them get those things, they're going to be pleased, and their pleasure at what I do will, they'll say thank you. They'll clap, they'll cheer, they'll give me a hug. Those actions will be that social acceptance that I'm looking for. See how all of it comes together, that what I need and what they need. That's why in the belonging work, I often talk about belonging being a shared faith, that my needs will be met by my commitment to being with others. That I've got needs, you've got needs, we've all got needs, but by being together, whether it's in community, at church, whether it's in the family, together as a family, whether it's in friendship, whatever it might be, that we all got needs, and by our commitment to being together, those needs will be met. All right. So a student who's excluded by their peers at lunch feels deep hurt. Why? Because one, that act of rejection, you can't be here, we don't want to sit with you, registers as physical pain in the brain. By registering as physical pain in the brain, the cognitive, now all of these thoughts are being activated and circulated and rehearsed and returning. That is, they don't want me to sit with them. Nobody ever wants me to sit with them. What's wrong with me? What's right with them? I'm not worthy. See how all of this avalanches and keeps going to a point where that physical pain intensifies and intensifies and intensifies. And this illustrates how rejection impacts us mentally and spiritually. In a way that is seriously problematic. So what we've got to do is really identify, as we make our way to Valentine's Day, which is all about love, that this is the week to be thinking about love in all of its correlates, not just love and acceptance, but also rejection, right? The sting of rejection has psychological and spiritual kinds of dimensions to it, spiritual and psychological kinds of elements to it. So the brain's response, rejection activates cortisol. These are the stress hormones in the brain that increase anxiety while lowering serotonin, our calm and our happiness hormone. So rejection, being kicked out of the group chat, being dismissed from a community, being, someone breaking up with you, whatever it might be, that rejection activates the stress hormone. So your stress levels go up. At the same time that depletes or diminishes or suffocates serotonin, your calm and happy. So you're separating from your calm and your happiness hormone, and you're increasing your stress hormone, which is why when we feel rejection, we feel more negative, like was shown in the picture. It impacts us more negatively than positively, right? This is just explaining what happens in our bodies as we experience rejection. We can create more serotonin, calm and happiness and connectiveness and reduce stress levels when we accept more than we reject. So this is the power we have as individuals when we say to people, hey, you know what? I like that idea. Even when someone's talking about something that you're not 100% sold out to, even to say, you know what, I like where you're going with that. I think we got to think about it, but I do like it. I want to accept your proposition. I want to accept your idea, and I want us to work on making it more, affordable, right? We don't just say, oh, no, that will never work. I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds silly, but we're starting to embrace it from the get-go. It allows that person to feel more calm, more happiness, more acceptance, more joy, and manage their stress levels. In the soul's invitation, spiritually, rejection challenges our self-worth in a way that simultaneously invites growth through forgiveness, compassion, and deep self-awareness. So when we are rejected, what happens to us spiritually is we're struggling because our stress levels are up, our calm and happiness is low. We are now feeling the pain of rejection, almost like a physical pain, and we're doubting ourselves. Am I not worthy? Do I not have enough? Do I smell? Does my breath stink? Did I say something wrong? Am I ugly? Am I too short? Am I too tall? Am I too thick? Am I too thin? All of these questions swirl in our mind. Sometimes they even come out of our mouth. In fact, we start telling ourselves, we don't even ask them this question. We start saying, you know what? I am too short. I'm not enough. I am inadequate. I'm mean. I'm whatever. And so we have to be careful about the messages we send to ourselves in these moments of rejection, because what we should be replacing rejection with is acceptance. So that even if a group rejects us, or a person rejects us, or we apply for a scholarship and get rejected, or we apply to college and get rejected, that we don't internalize that with more bad talk. But we tell ourselves, you know what? Hey, look, quite frankly, their loss. I'm worthy. I'm good. I've got this. I may not be accepted at that college, but I will be accepted to a college. Maybe they broke up with me. Their loss. I will find love. I am worthy of love. You know what? I didn't get picked for that sorority or that fraternity. Hey, you know what? There's a fraternity or a sorority. Thank you for helping me not make a mistake by joining your group. I know that there is a group out there for me, right? At church, feeling left out of a group can cause emotional pain. But it also presents an opportunity to practice grace to those who rejected you, both towards yourself and toward others. That practicing grace, or giving yourself grace, that phrase that people use a lot, is what I just said. Give yourself grace to say, you know what, just because I didn't get selected, or just because I didn't say the right thing, or just because I didn't know, doesn't mean I don't know anything. And we start to replace that negative talk, bad talk, what we call stinking thinking, with better thoughts, positive thoughts about ourselves. And to do that, comes on the scene now is forgiveness. You cannot get to the point of replacing rejection with acceptance, or hate with love, or dark with light, without passing through forgiveness of others, or forgiveness of yourself. So let's talk about this a little bit. We've got to get to the point where we want to acknowledge hurt. And that's why in one of those shorts that I just put out today, I talk about being able to name it without shaming it. To say, look, I got hurt. And I just experienced that in my own life, where it is okay to admit that some things happen or don't happen, or happen a certain way and don't happen a certain way that you anticipated. We're humans. It's okay to aspire to more, or to want a red pen, or to long for a blue hat and to get a yellow hat, and say, I'm glad I got a hat, but I really wanted a blue hat. Acknowledge the hurt. I put a lot of time in this relationship because I wanted this relationship to work out. We've gone back and forth for some time, and it's expired. It's over. And I just want to acknowledge that hurts me. And it's human to feel hurt. It's human to want things to work out. It's human to want connection. It's human. It's right. Don't feel bad about that. Don't, be ashamed about that. Don't downplay that. Acknowledge that hurt. But then to also move on to choosing compassion. And the compassion is choosing making a decision that I will, give myself grace. So I'm not going to beat myself up and say, now because the relationship is over, something must be wrong with me. I'm broken. I'm not worthy. I'm ugly. I'm not lovable. And I also won't punish them because that's what also happens in rejection, especially in love kind of relationships, is then we start saying they're bad, they're horrible, they don't deserve to live, whatever. Maybe those are your opinions, and that's natural to have that kind of, frustrated response. But compassion is to say, you know what, instead of being mad and being angry, I'm going to activate pity and concern for them. And that is, they had someone good, and whatever happened, whatever was going on that keeps them from experiencing the good that I have to give them, the love that I have to give them, I have compassion for them. I feel sorry for them. I, hope that they're able to move on, heal, and find that which they're looking for. And we don't, send hate mail their way or jump in their DMs and say negative things or drag them on social media. We actually start sending up positive things, positive mantras. I hope they'll, recover. I hope they'll heal. I hope they will, confront their challenges. I hope that they will face it. I hope that they will get better. I hope that, they will find peace. And if it's not mantras, it might be prayers that you might pray for them. So I have a friend who was in a long relationship that ended abruptly and unexpectedly, and ultimately got to the place where she said she was praying for her ex. She was praying for him. And she wasn't praying like, let him fall down the steps. That's not prayer. She was saying like, you know what? There were some things that she realized about him, some places where he was hurt and had not healed. And she started praying for healing for him there. I don't know if they'll ever come back together, but that's the kind of thing that will lead to reconciliation. So first, we acknowledge the hurt. Secondly, we choose compassion. Compassion doesn't fall on us. We have to choose it. We also have to choose it pretty regularly, if not daily. I regularly and daily forgive. I regularly and daily have compassion. I regularly and daily think about how this might negatively impact you. And what you're going through. Therefore, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm going to talk to you through it. And then ultimately that we find a way and a place to release and to heal. The forgiveness journey really transforms pain into peace through conscious choice and spiritual practice. So we get from pain into peace. We get from frustration into forgiveness through conscious choice. I'm choosing to get up. I'm choosing to move. I'm choosing to not wallow in this pain, wallow in this feeling. I'm choosing to forgive. I'm choosing to not think about that anymore. I'm choosing to, let it go. You can choose to show up a certain way. I've had moments where I could choose to show up mad and angry and frustrated and disappointed. And look, I'm human. There are days where I do it. But there are some days I'm like, you know what? That's not the look I'm going to put on. I'm going to consciously choose to put on happiness. I'm going to constantly choose to move beyond this, keep moving. And that's the science of letting go. Forgiveness reduces those stress hormones like cortisol, and it promotes oxytocin, the bonding hormone, by fostering deep connection and emotional healing. Forgiveness. I forgive you. I forgive what you did. I forgive who you are. I forgive why you did it. All of that is critically important to what we're talking about here. And then also, lastly, the spirit of grace in the spiritual sense is that forgiveness is a transformative act that frees the forgiver and the forgiven, and it breaks these cycles of hurt, and it opens a pathway for authentic love. It opens a pathway for authentic healing. It opens a pathway for reconnection. And sometimes people think, well, I'm not ready to forgive. I'm not ready to talk to them again. I'm not ready to be over it. And I'm not saying you have to be. I'm just simply saying that if you're not, it's not going to happen, because forgiveness is a choice. It is largely a choice. I'm not saying it's one person's choice. It takes two to tango. But a lot of times you have to choose to let it go, choose to squash it, choose to move on, choose to reframe it, choose to see it differently. I had a friend in high school. I remember one time we had a relatively big ordeal where, I mean, it was a high school ordeal, right? Not life ending, but something popped off in our friendship group. And I ended up feeling like I was blamed by a person in our friendship group. And it separated us for some time. And then time went by, and at some point you realize, wow, we haven't talked in, I don't know, several days. We haven't talked in several weeks. We haven't talked in several months. And then we got reconnected, or we bumped into each other. And I'm exactly sure how it happened now. And I decided in that moment that peace, joy, happiness, calm, friendship were more important to me than whatever this argument was about. I'm not even, again, I don't even remember in the moment what it was about. So what I decided to do was to forgive him. Literally, I said that to him, and I let him process the forgiveness. And then what I did, because I forgave him, was I worked each day to practice forgiveness. Because there were certainly moments where my mind wanted to go back to, remember, you're not speaking to him. Remember, he said this about you. Remember, he did this. Remember, he told the group that. And it would enter, and sometimes it would linger. And I just had to remind myself, nope, I'm not doing that now. And before you know it, maybe the first couple of days were hard because I kept returning to those thoughts. But after a couple of days, I was able to defeat them pretty quickly. And then I was able to defeat them pretty quickly. And then I was able to defeat them even more so, right? So before you know it, I was interacting with him like old times because forgiveness had done its good work. That as we get ready to move into Valentine's Day and we think about love, we have to think about, one, what love is: connection, social bonds, psychology, sociology, biology, spiritual bonds. And that we think about love depends upon, rooted in social acceptance. Social acceptance is only possible with embracing, not rejecting. And sometimes to get to love, we got to forgive. And so this is also the season of forgiveness. And sometimes forgiveness is, we've got to forgive some people. And I don't know who is watching the show or might watch it later, who needs to think about forgiving someone, forgiving something. Or what I experience a lot of times with my students and certainly my clients is forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. You know, some people get frustrated like, oh man, why would I have trusted them again? I knew that they were going to let me down. Forgive yourself. You trusted them again because you're biologically wired to be in connection with people. And whatever this was a person who you thought you could trust. Don't beat yourself up for being trusting. Don't beat yourself up for believing in the good in people. Just, give it a container. That's another short that is on YouTube about putting our emotions in a container, giving it a place to be. Create a clearing where you can just bracket off. Okay, so I trusted a person and they proved to not be trustworthy, which reminds me that everybody who I trust is not trustworthy. But that doesn't mean that all people aren't trustworthy. And that doesn't mean I shouldn't trust again, right? That you might love someone who doesn't love you back or loved you for a moment and then falls out of love. That just simply put it in a container, put it in a bracket, that you can love someone and that someone can fall out of love. People can fall out of love. But that doesn't mean that you're not lovable. And that doesn't mean you will never love again. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't love again. All of these are positive emotions that we need to understand, think about, activate, especially in this season. And I'm pretty sure I'll record for next Saturday. But if I don't, I want to say happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you and wish you nothing but love and light. And again, happy Black History Month to all. Thanks for tuning in to TLS Talks podcast. We're going to stop there for the day. I got a quick video for you, a song to get us out of here, and then I'll see you in the next show. Again, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, for joining us. Certainly couldn't do this show without you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect with you each and every Saturday during this show. It's been great. Hopefully, if you found something in this episode interesting, like and share, tag someone in it, let them know that this is what we do in TLS Talks. All right, take care. Till next time, peace.
Every conversation starts with a spark, igniting big ideas that can transform lives. In TLS Talks, we delve deeper into the issues that truly matter, exploring human potential for change and connection. Are you ready to discover what's possible together? Remember, this isn't just a show, it's a movement, a vibrant space where thinkers, doers, and dreamers unite. Each episode is carefully curated to promote learning, growth, and development, pushing boundaries and dreaming bigger. So join us as we create a community of change makers. TLS Talks explores new ideas and challenges the status quo. Each conversation inspires thought and transformation. Are you ready to live, learn, and lead? Let's dream, let's live, and do good work. Look to be inspired as you engage the conversation. Click the like button, drop comments in the chat, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, your voice matters, you are enough, and you belong here just the way you are. TLS Talks is your platform to talk and transform. Now let's get back to the show already in progress.
Hey. This is a song that means a lot to me. A song that I actually struggled with getting through last year at the show. Just an emotional piece. It's about innocence and not letting go of the things that you love as a kid, as a child. This is Kid Again by PJ Morton. I'm going back to all those dreams I once had. Before I had all these things in my head, my 8-year-old self would be so disappointed, 'cause I started to doubt everything we say. But sometimes life gets hard, and you just don't know. You can still do all those things you dreamed before. You don't need to grow up, that's the beginning of the end. You just need to believe like a kid again, like a kid again, kid again. You just need to believe like a kid again. Sometimes I wish I didn't know all I know, 'cause I used to believe in the impossible. But at some point I started to trust in only what I see, when honestly my faith is really all I need. But sometimes life gets hard, and you just don't know. You can still do all those things you dreamed before. We don't need to grow up, that's the beginning of the end. You just need to believe like a kid again, like a kid again, kid again. You just need to believe